Welcome to At the Dinner Table, where we, Sunday dinner, sit down with featured artists and give an in-depth look into both of our worlds. So today, all the way from Albania, we have singer, songwriter, producer, vocalist, winner of the Best New Artist Award at the 2018 Kenga Magica Festival, participant of the Eurovision stage in 2019 as part of the Albanian team, and first feature on Sunday Dinner's debut single, Still Want My Love, Wendi Mancaku.
Okay. Yo, do you think that was long enough, that description of her?
I think it could be a little bit longer.
Honestly, yeah.
I'm going to shoot for longer next time.
Next time I think you should go longer.
Definitely.
All right.
Definitely. Okay. And here is a snippet of our song, Still Want My Love, in case you have not heard it.
You still want my love. Thinking about my body when you need someone to hold you. Now you're running from everything that you said to me when you were young. You're afraid you might have meant to want my love. Thinking about my body when you need someone to hold you. Now you're running from everything that you said to me when you were young. You're afraid you might have meant that.
You still want my love. Okay.
Okay. All right, so without further ado, let's get into the questions. So, Wendi, let's just get going. We'll start out a little bit easier. So, first question, how did you find Purchase from Albania? I mean, since you lived in Albania.
Okay, so I have family in America, and it's been like kind of a dream of mine to study there, like study, like abroad. So I was like kind of always had that mindset that I want to like go study abroad. So yeah, I applied to a couple of schools. Purchase was one of them. And yeah, I made it, and I chose it as my school because like it had the studio composition majors. So yeah, it was like the perfect out of everything. So
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, and for the record, for the people who don't know, like, we got in touch with Wendi through our school. We all go to Purchase. We all study in the same program. We all make music. So yeah, that's how we kind of found her. But we were kind of like, whoa, she's from Albania. How does that work?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to be so real with everybody right now. I did not know where Albania was until I looked it up today on a map. But I will say this.
since you guys are like Italian, right? We're neighbors.
Yeah, we are.
I know. I should have known
it's the
that.
same area.
Exactly.
And you're right next to Greeks, too.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm hurt.
I'm so sorry.
Wait, hold on. What's better, Italian food or Albanian food?
Albanian food. You guys have to try it though. You guys have to try it. I'm like very, traditional.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I kind of want to try Albanian
I would
food.
love to. What kind of food is Albanian food? Like, what do you eat in an Albanian meal?
I don't know how to describe it. There's like a bunch of dishes. I can like think of burek and but like I don't know how to explain all of them. It's like really, If I go into depth, like the entire interview will be about like Albanian food. So let's not get into it.
All right, so we'll do that next time. But so we heard your song.
Okay.
We heard a song, not even a song that you released, but something that you had posted on the Studio Composition Seminar Forum, which is a class that we all have together. And I mean, I think I speak for both of us when I say we were just like blown away.
No, absolutely.
Like your melody, your like ear for that sort of thing was just like very, very, very stunning. And we were like, holy crap, this could work really well if she was on the song. So
that was funny. You were like, yo, Nick, go on the seminar right now and look for Wendi Mancaku.
Her name is Wendi. Yo, check her out. Check her out. Yeah, that was funny.
I'm flattered. Thank you.
And so hearing your music, we were obviously like, wow, this is like really cool. But it wasn't really stuff that we had heard like before, right? Because you come from a lot of different influences and you come from a lot of different backgrounds, right? So where would you say your influences are? Like, who are they? What are you listening to?
Okay, so let's just clear my background a little bit.
Mm.
My father is also a musician. He's a composer, he plays guitar and he sings and everything,
Mm.
and he's like a rocker. So I grew up with his music and like with rock music, like listening to, like I was 7, I'd listen to like Scorpions and like like AC/DCs and all
Oh yeah.
kinds of bands and stuff. And then like when I grew up, like as we evolve and like try to like hear different stuff, I got into like R&B, like pop as well. I don't know, but something like an artist that I really like, it's like Her. I don't
Oh,
know if
heard
you've
her.
heard of it.
Yep.
Her. Like I don't know, I'm really bad with names, especially like in interviews and stuff. When they ask me to mention like artists, I'm like, ooh, I don't listen to music anymore, I guess. But like not that like Dua Lipa, she's also Albanian, fun fact,
Yes, that's definitely one
uh
of our massive influences as well.
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
Like I don't know, I listen like a little bit from everything, I try to like kind of include those, like genres into my music to make something new. So
Absolutely.
so coming from Albania, do you listen to a lot of Albanian artists, or are you listening to like, American music? Like what are you listening to exactly?
I listen to, I mean, I've heard some Albanian music,
Hmm.
but let's say like I'm not like very, very big on like the Albanian music industry,
Mm.
even though like I'm kinda in it.
Yeah, right.
Right.
But I do like the American industry. I hear a lot from like foreign music and stuff.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, and I
Just
feel
trying to
like
get,
I don't really know the
yeah.
Albanian music industry, but I feel like the American music industry is kind of at like the cutting edge of like what the sound is doing, and I feel like we're kind of like shaping the sound as it, and then the UK has their own thing going on too.
Right.
But it's interesting to think about because we take that kind of for granted. Like your influences could be totally different than ours because you're just from a different place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Speaking of the UK, I don't know if you listen to Tom Misch or Jordan Rakei or any of those guys, but that's pretty deep into like the R&B world. Oh my goodness, phenomenal music. Totally recommend. Cool. So your dad got you into producing.
My okay, so let's say I'm like the lucky, like musical kid, like with a musical family.
Yeah.
So I was lucky in that sense to have like a studio already and not like
Mhm.
work for it. While like here, of course, I have to work for it. I have to do like everything from the beginning here.
Right.
But like over there, when I was like in Albania, yeah, my dad, kind of got me into it, and I'd see like YouTube videos, like every beginner and stuff. So yeah, I would look like at videos and I'd get more and more into it, and I was like, I know what I want to do with my life finally. So
So
yeah.
you went to YouTube University first, and then you graduated and went to Purchase College.
I don't think anybody ever graduates from YouTube
That is
University.
true. That
That's
is
how I
so
started the
true.
same way. Like my family has a music background as well. And
Mhm.
it was literally just, pick up a guitar. Like literally I was born and a guitar fell in my lap and I was like, okay, I guess this is what I do now. I just play the guitar. This is the part where I play the guitar.
Yeah, right?
um, but yeah, it's definitely a privilege because you kind of have like all that
Mhm.
gear. I mean, obviously is one thing, but also just the experience of just having people in the house that are very close to you that also do the same thing is.
Yeah.
And it's crazy to me because you don't really have any musicians in the family. Like,
Right.
did you get it pick it up from your brother when he started learning?
I followed everything that my brother did in life. Like if he was skateboarding, I was skateboarding. If he was scootering, I was scootering. Like I followed him in everything that he did. And so I was like, when I saw him with a guitar, I was like, wow, that's really cool. But then he started getting into this Broadway thing, and we got into like Phantom of the Opera, and we both were obsessed with it, like an unhealthy obsession. And so I was like on the piano and stuff, and like I would like figure the things out. I would like go on my phone and be like, oh, this is what sheet music looks like or something. Figure out the notes and play it. That was the beginning. My mom doesn't sing. My dad doesn't sing. He played the saxophone when he was 11, but that's about it.
Yeah, I feel like that's more like impressive You know, like
Yeah,
when you do
absolutely.
music, when you like you get into it yourself. You don't have like influences being like, oh, what if I be like, one of my family members, You're
Right.
just like,
Right.
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. It can definitely help to have like some family members who are already into it, you know? But cool. So would you ask your dad like production questions? Would you be like, "Hey, like how do I compress?" Like, you know what I mean? Like would you do those things or no?
Yeah, I go like sometimes, when mixing, because mixing is obviously hard. And I'm like, Dad, like, do you have like that preset of that mixing you did a while ago? And he's like, so you do need me. Because I'm like, I don't need you. Like, because we have like different musics, like totally, very, very different genres and everything. And like, like I don't let him interfere with my music. I'm like, I finish an entire song and I'm like, here, go, listen to it. Tell
Right.
me if you like it or not. If you don't, it's okay. Like,
Right.
but still, yeah. But like, yeah. And I'm like, I'll figure it out myself, and then I go like, how was that preset again? And he's like, so you
I definitely
and
relate
I'm
to
like,
that. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, what can I say?
Right.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. And I know that you said that you and your dad's music is very different. Like your styles, your taste in music, but do you feel like you're influenced by him at all?
I feel like, yeah, I feel like I do, because I also got like that motif-ish, thing going on, and I feel like it's in like our blood or something, because my dad is very like, it's very much like me when it comes to melodies and writing melodies.
Mm,
So I think I got that from him and listening to his music.
interesting. Have you ever written with your dad?
That's funny. Yeah, I have actually. He released like a couple songs, like the latest songs, and I would be like playing the piano. Now, like we help each other out. So I play the piano for him. He does like guitar solos on my songs,
Oh
like
wow.
it's kind of like a collaboration now between us.
That's really
And
cool.
yeah, yeah.
Interesting.
That's great. That's really cool. Um, so the family, you have your father. Who else? I know that you have a sister. We've seen her on Instagram a little bit.
Yes. And she sings better than me, matter of fact.
All right,
Does
that's
she?
I don't know about that.
No, I guarantee. And
That'd be pretty
like
funny. Our second feature is
Our
her sister.
second song.
I'm trying to get her into music though, she doesn't want to pursue it. She's like,
Mhm.
oh, I have my father and my sister, and like, why should I be?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, that's interesting how she has a mind of her own. She's very talented though. She also plays piano, guitar, and she also sings very well. And if like in my Instagram and like in the latest participation that I had, like in the festival for the second time,
Mhm.
and like this festival in Albania, which is like Festival Congas. We did like this acoustic version, and I was in the stage with my father and my sister. So she was playing the piano, my dad was like playing the guitar, and I was like singing on stage.
So it was like all
A
the
family
Mancakus
thing.
together. It was a
Yeah.
family. That's great.
Like
That's kind of
only the mom was like being the manager in the background.
That's
Yeah.
funny. That's funny.
Yeah.
Wow. So, all right. I guess my next question, where I want to take this, is like, how have you been doing in quarantine so far? How have you been staying inspired? I mean, obviously this has affected musicians on a global scale. This is not something that's like, temporary, and we're kind of like everybody feels it in some way, shape, or form. So how are you feeling it, and how has that changed?
Mhm. Okay, so when quarantine first started in March, I was still a senior in high school. So of course I was like, thank God, no school for a couple like weeks, because like every country handles it differently.
Mhm.
So at first I was like, oh, this is nice, because we need a break, come on.
Sure.
And like weirdly, I was inspired at that time. Like I was like inspired. I kept writing like 6 songs, like I don't know, in 2 weeks or something. It was
Wow.
insane. And now, like in quarantine now, I don't know. I've been like hardly writing a song. It really depends. It really depends. It affects every musician like differently. But like at first, I was very inspired to stay at home because I also had all my gear and all my music stuff, and I was like, yes, finally time to like get to work.
Right.
Yeah.
But now it's like very different, you know. I'm still trying to like accommodate with everything and like, you know, but yeah, hopefully, you know, it'll get better with the
Yeah,
writer's block.
for real. I always love talking to people about that because for me, I just lost all like creative capacity when quarantine hit. I was just like, okay, what the hell do I do now?
Yeah.
It's all I need. It's weird, but I there's a certain level of comfort that actually goes against my process. Like I need to be constantly doing things and experiencing new things, and I actually need to be busy to be able to write songs, which is weird. And I feel like we're getting the groove back. Still Want My Love was definitely a lot of fun to make, and
Yeah.
it's setting us on the right track, I think.
It's a great song. Yeah, I want to like congratulate you guys on that, you
Oh
know.
hell yeah! Thank you.
And you guys like work together like pretty awesomely because you know I try to write songs with my sister and it ends up like in us like screaming at each other. You know,
Well, I mean,
trying to like yeah, like how do you guys do it? You know, like how can you like cooperate or something?
Oh no, we scream at each other all day long. It's like it's rare when we don't. No, collaborating is a
it,
weird
it
thing.
works out finally. Like it
Yeah.
works out pretty fine. So
yeah, I
yeah,
think that actually helps us. That our process is kind of messed up
Our
and
processes are both different.
yeah,
Like I don't write a song the same way that Nick does,
right.
and he doesn't the same way that I do.
Hmm.
And you know, sometimes like that's exactly what we need to finish the song.
Right.
Because it's like, yo, I have a verse, a chorus, a post-chorus, but I don't have the bridge, man. Like that's all you.
Right.
And then I give it to him, and then he transforms it, and it's like, wow, this is what it needed. Like I couldn't have finished it myself.
Yeah.
So
mhm.
in that regard, oh my God, it's extremely rewarding and it's
Yeah.
extremely productive. Um, but yeah, we're trying to like just write more music. You know what I mean? We're trying to write and write and write and like don't stop.
Yeah.
um,
Absolutely.
that's
Yeah,
where we're at right now. But
that's great.
yeah, so all right, let's dig a little bit deeper into like how you got going and stuff like that. Like where it all began, like so obviously like you know you started by getting to know music through your dad and stuff like that. So your song released in December of 2019. It's pronounced Ende, right?
Yeah, that was like my participation for the festival, my first participation in the festival.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And it was actually like my second song. The first song was like Andraime.
Okay.
And it was like a song which I participated in Kanga Majike, you know, which I won like the best new artist. And it was actually like a challenge for me because I only performed like with the piano and my voice, like that's it, that's the whole song, you know. And you have to keep it interesting, you know, when you only have like two components in a song, you
Absolutely.
guys know. So yeah, and it went well, it went pretty well, you know, like, and I was really anxious because let me go like back into my entire thing so you can like get why was it important. So I started competing when I was like 7, competing into like song competitions, and at the
Wow.
same time I was like in a music school for piano, which I've been studying for 12 years and 13 now, I think it's 13 now. But yeah, um and I started playing piano and I kept like participating, you know, like in all kinds of competitions. You know, I was at the Voice Kids of Albania when I was like 11.
That's
I was
dope.
like in junior vocal, like all kinds of, you know, competitions. You probably don't know like most of them because of course it's like Albanian TV. But yeah, I started with those and then I was like, you know what, I'm kind of tired. I want to focus like on my school and on my piano and like, so I was like, let's take a break. The break lasted for like 6 years or something. It was like a long break.
Mm.
And I felt like I grew up and I learned a lot from it. And after it, you know, I was like, it was like my time to return on stage.
Mm.
So that's where I decided to like compete at Kangama Jika. And I was like so scared of how people would like react to my persona now, because I wasn't like the same like 11, 12-year-old girl, you know, I was like 17 or something, 18. And yeah, and it was like pretty important, and I'm like so glad and so thankful that it was like uh liked from the public and that they
Right.
expected well. So I just kept going and I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna take a break anymore. I don't want to be like that forgotten girl who did a song and like disappeared. So
Wow.
yeah.
There's a lot to unpack there. I
Yeah,
mean,
for
I
real.
have a bunch of questions. So, first question, do you see a lot of like Albanian or successful Albanian artists like competing? Is that the way to do it in Albania? Is that what you guys
I don't so like for me personally, I'm tired of competing, you know? I
Mhm.
don't want to compete because I don't want like in a way my to base my worth on like prices and stuff, you know?
Mhm.
So I'm just trying to like become my own artist right now and to like have a fan base, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
People like my music, you know. I want to like do something new and I want to do something for others and for myself as well, you know, like to bring people together and to like yeah, for them to enjoy and relate to.
Yeah.
So I don't really like competing, but you know, like it depends. It really depends. Just like in America, like, you know, you have people doing crazy stuff to like become famous,
Right.
and you have like people like slowly climbing the stairs, like, you know, to their way to fame, and I'm like one of those people who like slowly climbs the stairs, you
Mhm.
know.
Yeah.
I'm not, you know, I'm not trying to do anything crazy, but you never know.
Right.
So
Oh yeah, you. That is
yeah.
wild though, because to me, I don't know. I feel like I don't. I would. I don't know. I don't know. Would you compete in a like a
it,
I
contest
don't
for
know
song?
if like if I started at a young age, maybe. You
it
said you
is very
started
stressful.
from
It's
competing very young.
very, very
I
stressful.
mean, when she was competing in songwriting competitions, I was like in my basement in sweatpants playing guitar at like
Yeah,
11 years old. It's kind of crazy.
Oh god,
that's
yeah.
very true.
Yeah, that's
It is
definitely.
very stressful, you know, like
I'm sure it
to,
was. Yeah, that's no joke.
like to a kid, like I don't know, but I kind of enjoyed and I learned a lot from it, you know. It's good because like sometimes you win, sometimes you don't, and you're like, you know, I got to do better, you know, you try
Right.
to better yourself and everything. But yeah, that break was good though. I definitely like learned a lot and grew a lot. So
So that's 6 year break. That's a long time. You took the break starting at age 11, and you came back when you were how old?
mhm.
18.
18,
Yeah.
17,
17, 18.
17,
17. So
like six year break, 17. I was about 17 at the time, so yeah.
I mean just right there.
Uh,
So what got you back in? Like was it your new persona, or were you like, "Oh, I like producing now?" Or were you like, "I like to play piano over my own songs now?" Like what exactly was it?
thing is, you know, since I was like little, I've kind of knew what I wanted to do with my life, and I knew that it was music.
Hmm.
You know, I wasn't like forced or anything, you know. Okay, I got into a music school and I didn't know I wanted to play piano yet, but I
Mhm.
knew I wanted to sing and I knew I could create, you know, I could create. So like I'd write songs. So I was like 10, what, like little songs when I was like 10, and it kept growing at like 12. From 12, you know, like up to 17, I was like just writing songs. And usually, you know, like I don't know how I would write them, but they just like came to me, and I was like, oh, okay, so I think all I have to do is like create. It's like my, you know, duty, you know.
Yeah.
So I kind of knew, and that's why I kept pursuing it. I took the break, and you know, like I was like very, let's say, like self-conscious about my music because like, oh, you know, how I'm gonna like people gonna react and everything, and am I good enough, like all those kinds of things, you
Yeah.
know. And then I think I'm like slowly like learning, and like you can please everybody, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
So yeah, you know, like accepting myself and everything. Yeah,
Interesting.
definitely.
So I want to ask what was keeping you busy during that time, during that 6 year break?
Piano and like school was insane. Like I could describe like my I don't know how to say like daily schedule, but like, you know, you don't really have time for anything else, you know, when you study like an instrument because it takes its own time. And you
Absolutely.
know, I wasn't studying, like I wasn't studying that much when I was like competing, of course, like logically, because I had to like go to all these places and like do rehearsals and stuff. So I kind of left piano behind when I was like what, in fourth grade or something. But afterwards, you know, like I started like working more and more, and I saw that, you know, piano was like beneficial to me because like let's be honest, as a child, who wants to study? No one.
True.
Yeah.
You don't even know like the benefits you get from it.
Right.
So like as I kept going, I saw myself improve, and I was like, okay, you know, like this could be of help. you know. Let's just keep doing it, yeah. And that's why I would like I performed with piano and like my voice for the first time. This was like before I got into producing. I got into producing like after that competition with the first song.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's really cool. So, what were you studying on piano? Were you studying classically? Were you studying jazz?
Classic music.
Nice.
I-
I mean, yeah, I started like with Beethoven, I don't know, Mozart, Bach. I hated Bach. I hated so much. I don't know, like I feel like other musicians can relate. Like it was just difficult, you know, playing four voices at the same time and like each one had to like, oh god. And I also like the how to say the romantic period, you know, like Chopin and like Rachmaninoff and like I can think of any others, but you get me, like Liszt,
Yeah,
like you know,
Absolutely.
I love like the romantic period, and I felt like I could like express myself on it better. So I'd always like be looking forward to those kind of pieces and stuff. So yeah, I played classical, and it's kind of weird coming from a R&B pop musician, you know.
Sure.
But I feel like it had its own, you know, impact on me as an artist. Like
Well,
that's
I
very
was gonna ask, have you tried to write something in that style? Like, are you? I'm a-
okay, so like I tried to like make one of my songs like a valse or something.
Mhm.
It was okay, but I didn't feel like it was me. I was like, I can do it, but I don't prefer it, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's why I didn't want to continue like for classical music, go to like I don't know, Juilliard or something,
yeah.
because I don't really like relate to the classical word, and plus like studying for such a long time, like just like classical music, I was like, no, I'm not doing it again. It's been too long, you know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what comes next? Like, what is your like with where you're at now with quarantine, with the projects that you've already put out? What's next?
Okay.
Because I know that you
Uh,
just recently released something, right?
yeah. I am working on like a few singles, and I'm also working on my album, which I want to release. I don't know how long it will take because of quarantine, of course.
Right.
Right.
But I really want to like get some not a long break, I promise. Just a small break to get like the album, you know, the album like already done and everything to be released. I want to like, release my own music at this point.
Yeah.
So when you say
Yeah.
release, because I noticed, like, I don't know if the Albanians do it the way we do it. Like, do you mean out on streaming platforms? Like, what is, so like Spotify, Apple Music, that kind of
Yeah,
thing?
yeah. Like
Gotcha.
release it on every platform, you know.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Interesting.
What is the main platform in Albania? Is it YouTube?
I think so. I'm not sure. We just got Spotify like I don't know, a year ago, 2 years
Wow.
ago. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's insane.
Wow.
I
Yeah,
don't know.
because whenever we think about releasing something, it's like, all right, we know it's gonna go to Spotify. Should we
Mhm.
put it on YouTube too? Should we put, you know what I
Right.
mean? It's kind of
Put
like,
it everywhere.
Yeah.
For me, like put it everywhere. You never
yeah,
know.
Of
right.
course. Of course.
Yeah.
So that's cool. So you're working on the album,
Mm-hmm.
and are you gonna have a bunch of your old singles on there too, plus new music, or are you gonna have you
I
thought about that yet, or where are
I don't know. I think I might not include my old singles. I'm not sure of it because they were like competition songs. Even though like they're my songs, I had to like let's say uh I don't know like write according to the competition,
Ah, right.
because like every competition is different. Like where you compete for a certain something, and this certain something was to go into Eurovision in my last like competitions in FIC, like Festivali Congress. And yeah, you like basically write in that style.
you?
So like imagine like a Eurovision song. That is the structure, and you have to like write it. But yeah, like I don't feel like I'll include them. Not because I don't like them, like they're my creations, of course, but I want this album to be like something different, to be more authentic.
Yeah, more personal.
I want
Yeah,
to be
because
more
when
me.
I heard that song on Seminar,
Hmm.
I forgot what was the name of that?
Fall.
Yeah, yeah, right. Because that to me was so much different than like Enda and like all your other music. So I was like, oh, I wonder what is
Yeah.
more like you. You know what I mean? And I guess that totally makes sense with
Yeah, I want to be like, express myself fully, with
yeah,
like this album. Like no holdbacks,
right.
no, oh, what if you do the chorus this way, like all those bunch of stuff,
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
yeah, no
So speaking
compromises.
of, I'm curious about like I want to start talking process, because I'm very very curious. I'm intrigued on, I love to ask like anybody who writes music and produces like where do you start? What do you do? What is your process in a couple steps?
Okay, so basically my songs and my more authentic songs are based on the vibes, like the feelings.
Hmm.
Sometimes I've had like, people, friends and family that I've shown it to. They're like, oh, I can see this in this color, like the entire song or whatever. And I want to do that, I want to make people like feel something through the chords. I usually like, it depends. It depends. From song to song is very different,
Mhm.
From, for example, like the first song, Ondraime, uh, the motif for that song came in a dream. I was like sleeping, and I hear like this bell. It was like a wedding or something. I hear like this bell. It goes like na 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 da da da, and I was like, okay, I woke up and I could remember it, and I was like, oh, okay. So I recorded it. It was 4 in the morning. I went to the bathroom with my phone because my entire house, like my entire, like people in my house were asleep. It was like 4 a.m. And I go like, da, na, 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 na. And then I wake up in the morning and I thought it was a dream, like the entire thing. And then I hear the recording and I'm like, thank God. So I started the next day. I sat into the piano and I was like trying to make chords for that motif. So yeah, I'm very motif based, by the way,
Mhm.
because if you couldn't tell.
No, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
And yeah, I kept like for this song, like I kept like working on the chords and then like working on the lyrics, but like I had like the lyrics being translated into Albanian clearly. I usually write my music in like English.
Oh wow, that's I was
So
actually gonna ask
I
you
was
that before.
curious.
yeah, even though it's not my first language, I feel like I feel it, easier. The words come easier for some reason. It's easier even to like sing in English. Like the words just flow out,
Do you think
While
that's
in
'cause you listen to
Albanian,
more like English music? Like or
probably it
yeah,
might be. It might be like that. Yeah, but also like the words in Albanian, like Albanian is like a beautiful language, and it's sometimes like hard to express yourself because like the words when you say like "gjithçka" or like something like that, like it's different to sing that like
mhm,
some words that you want to say.
gotcha.
So that's why like I feel like it's easier. And plus like everybody understands the lyrics, so it's like better for like everyone.
Right.
And yeah, usually like it's like the chords. I start with the chords. So like I am very like feel based,
Mhm.
like when I feel like emotions strongly or whatever, I just
Mhm.
release everything into my music.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I think that's the way to go. I mean, not that no one process is the way to go over the other, but I don't know. That just tends to work for us too. Like we just will sit down,
Mhm.
just feel it out, and just like don't think too hard about it, and kind of just well, at least our best work. Still want my love happened this way. It was just so organic. It was so authentic, and we weren't going into the studio with anything in mind. We kind of just let it flow, and
Yeah.
that's what we ended up with.
Yeah.
Yeah, those
I
are
feel like
the
more
best
people
songs.
resonate with your music when you do it that way because it's just as
Yeah.
raw as it gets, you know.
Yeah, they can like feel it
Mhm.
differently. Yeah.
So, with this conversation about process, like, um, when do you like? Well, I'm sorry. What was your process with "Still Want My Love"? I mean, like, obviously, when you write a song and when you sing over a song, way different experiences, right? You're still feeling the things that you need to feel to maintain authenticity, but when you receive "Still Want My Love," like, what's the first thing that came to mind? Like, what were you like? Oh, I'm gonna make sure that I do this, or I'm gonna sing this way, or because obviously that voice memo that you got from me was not that good.
I it was good enough for me to get an idea. So come on. And I really like the song, and that's the thing with me. If I don't like the song, I cannot sing the song. I physically cannot. I will sound like like I cannot sing the song. So I like the song a lot, and I was like, I can make this work. I feel like it could work with my voice too. So I mostly like feel it out. I was like, I like this. What if I do this instead of this?
Mhm.
What if I raise it and everything? So I feel it just came naturally because I really liked the song.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So like everything fell into its place.
Right. Right.
And I tried like different stuff too. I was like, can this go? Should this better be? So yeah.
That was a fun day when we got those vocals back from you. I just remember getting in the studio like so excited to like unpack everything.
It was like Christmas morning.
I was literally gonna use that analogy. It totally was. It was a lot of fun. Um,
Oh my God. It was like 47 tracks. I was like, oh my God, I don't know how the guys are gonna do it. I was like, I don't know how the guys are gonna do it, but good luck.
Yeah. No, I mean everything was perfectly organized. I mean, so you recorded. I'm curious, how long did it take you since we did 47 audio files? I mean, how long did it take you to finish that?
Okay, so like the day that you send me the instrumental, it probably like took me because I took breaks. So with breaks, it was like 2 hours and a half or something. I
Nice.
feel like yeah, and it was like because you have to cut them and you have to sort them out, and it's like all that work and stuff, and like naming them, 1, 2, 3, 4 for the takes.
Right.
And that's what like cost me the most time. But yeah, like 2 hours or something.
That's crazy. That's. I was very surprised how fast like you were able to turn that around and just get it back to us. Like, um, I think that helped the process too. That it was just instant. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, what was it? Like a day, maybe even
Yeah,
less?
like
I think it was like
12 hours.
a day out from
Yeah.
us sending it to you and
Yeah.
sending that voicemail.
Let me ask you this. Actually, I was very curious about this. So you sang over the song and send it to us, and then you didn't hear it until the showcase, right?
Until the showcase, until somebody Ian Fowle did the article from London.
Right, right. So what did you like? What was your opinion on the transformation of the record? Because we sent you a demo of the song,
Yeah.
and you just gave us a whole bunch of vocals, and then we kind of just did what we did. So what was your reaction to that? I was very curious about that.
I was like so surprised, especially when I heard like the kind of the bridge, but like
Yeah.
with the chopped vocals. I
Yeah.
was like, I was speechless. Like I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. Hearing my voice go like, and I was like, ooh, because I haven't tried that one before yet. I haven't tried that one yet. So I was like, I like this. I like this. I think you guys really did like a great job. Uh, it definitely was a surprise. I would have wanted to be like more like, you know, in the process, to
Right,
like know
right,
what was going on. But then I was like, oh, I'll just let them like do their thing.
right. I feel
And
like
I'm
that
not
is
disappointed. So
good. That's dope. I always
Awesome.
love like those when you send a track out,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, and somebody else just kind of takes over and just
Yeah.
it's so fun to see like what something you envisioned as one way becomes something completely different, or maybe it lines up. We have to work together, the three of us. Like we really have to like all be in
In
the
the room.
process together rather than just like kind of sending things back and forth, because I would love to see where we will go with it.
yeah, our writing process like
Yeah.
combined and all the fights that we'd probably do. Yeah.
But you know what I've found is like with collaborations, like what Nick was talking about, when you just send something to somebody and say, hey, here are the loose parameters of what I want you to do, and they have artistic freedom and they have expression, like that's how I feel like collaboration is done best.
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
it's
I
like
totally
you
love
have-
that. Like, do your own thing, like just sing it your way. That's why I love it, like our collaboration. I
Right.
totally felt free and not forced to do anything.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
express myself better. So yeah.
Because make no mistake, like me and Nick could have sat there and like meticulously figured out, okay, we want her to sing this here, and like we could have given you these hard and fast rules and been like,
Yeah.
do this exactly. But the song would not have come out the way that
Right,
it did.
right.
And
True.
yeah, I recently was thinking about that, and I think it's pretty interesting. But all right, cool. So I mean, is there anything else that you want to bring up? Is there anything else that you want to say? Like,
Oh, I don't think so. I mean, we kind of
Dream
hit like,
still won my love.
yeah, well,
Stream the song.
stream the song, or I'm coming for you now. No, I mean that was interesting. I think we literally got like Wendy's entire life story on this
Yeah.
podcast. But I like that because I wanted like the original idea for these podcasts were for the fans of us and the fans of you to kind of get like the worlds colliding. Our worlds collided in the song, and now they're colliding here in a podcast where we're just having a conversation. And I think it's just an interesting thing for everybody involved, including us.
yeah.
Hmm.
So we have one
That's
more
great.
question. And this is a
Alright.
question that we're going to ask every single person that we do this podcast with, right? So,
Yeah.
all right.
Spaghetti and meatballs is your favorite food? No, I'm kidding.
What's your favorite Italian dish? No. When you were like,
Yeah.
oh no, wow, I worded this question very badly. When were you like, this is what I am meant to do. This is what I'm here to do.
like a specific moment
Yeah.
in your life where you just finally were just like, this is exactly what I'm meant to do.
When I came from the break on the song, and after I finished the last chord, the last chord of the song in like Andreime, and like I saw the crowd, like cheering, like they were like clapping and they were like, up in their feet. Does that make sense? Yeah, and like that's when I saw and I was like, oh my God, like I definitely felt it. I felt it like since a young age for some reason. I was like, I have to do this, I really have to do this. But like right on that moment, I was like, I really have to do this now, So yeah,
I don't
that's
think
very
I
nice.
got a better answer for that.
Yeah, that was
Like,
that was a phenomenal answer.
yeah, hell yeah, that's exactly what we want. Like, and hell yeah, that's so cool. I can only imagine what that felt like.
Yeah. Cool.
It
All
was
right. So
really
listen, Wendy,
amazing,
there are things written in the stars for the three of us writing together, 100%.
Yes,
Sometime
yes.
in the future. But in the meantime,
Yeah.
I hope that you enjoy Long Island. Let us know if you have any questions. He's really good with directions. He can take you anywhere without a GPS.
Okay.
It's phenomenal. But yeah,
All right.
enjoy Long Island, and thank you so much for being on
Yes.
at the dinner table.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for having me.
Okay.
Word, Wendy.
Bye, Wendy.
Ciao, ciao.
Bye.